organizations that have been the longest ones in terms of good relations with the viceregal office. Mon Sheong is on that short list. And as your honorary patron, I'm obviously delighted to visit the center and to view construction of the new complex. The charity service is likely the first of its kind in Canada, so I have to say to you, well done, Mon Sheong. It's something that I can identify with personally because many years ago, over 40 years ago in fact, my late parents were involved with the creation of a group called the Brotherhood Foundation, which sought to establish a facility in Scarborough in some ways similar to Mon Sheong, but of course different because the standards of 40 years ago were very different than today. But through the development and their commitment to the Brotherhood Foundation, along with many other dedicated people, a facility was built in Scarborough called the Wexford, and for many, many years served the needs of elderly citizens in Scarborough. So as a very young man, at the time then just going to university, I became very, very familiar and well acquainted with the needs of the elderly and the way that like-minded and good-hearted people can come together to create unique facilities that meets the need of its people. When we heard the introduction a few moments ago about my support of accessibility, and that I believe that accessibility is that which enables people to achieve their full potential, sometimes people think, well, I'm just referring to younger people about to begin their careers. My middle son, Robert, has just been called to the bar and is beginning his career as a lawyer. My eldest son, Jonathan, is 3 years into the business world in the computer industry, and so he's just beginning his career. Those two young men are beginning to reach their full potential. But I suggest to you that reaching your full potential is an ongoing reality. And that is why the facilities like we have here and the philosophy behind Mon Sheong is so very, very important. Because I believe until your last breath that you can reach your full potential. You can applaud. As you are very, very well aware, and I would say most of us are aware, in the Chinese culture, the elderly are traditionally revered. We do see reports sometimes out of China indicating an erosion of elder care there. The younger generations are often very busy, working, often far from home. But when we see stories like that or read about such situations and those ones closer to home, we have all the more reason to be grateful for the foresight of the Mon Sheong Foundation. Because for nearly 50 years, Mon Sheong has been planning and preparing to ensure that Chinese Canadians in the Greater Toronto Area will have the care they need as they age. Not only does Mon Sheong run 3 long-term care centers in Toronto, Scarborough, and of course Richmond Hill, it also provides an adult daycare center, life lease apartments, and more. And Mon Sheong continues to expand its vision to promote comprehensive care for seniors and those with disabilities. So as the First Lieutenant Governor with a physical disability, obviously, much of my work has focused on issues related to accessibility. 5 years ago, I had the enormous privilege of representing Canada at the opening of the Paralympic Games in Beijing. And I was tremendously impressed and still am affected by the Paralympics philosophy that they created for the Games. And on the opening day of the Games, the major newspapers made sure that everyone was able to read about this Paralympics philosophy. And there were 3 points to the philosophy which I believe we would be well advised to adopt here in Canada. The first is transcendence. That is that which encourages people with disabilities to look beyond their limitations and to encourage able-bodied people to see those who are disabled and see beyond the disabilities. Beyond transcendence, there is equality, that which advises people with or without disabilities to consider themselves equal with another. And finally, integration, that which advocates the recognition of people with disabilities as full functioning members of our society. So transcendence, equality, and integration. And personally, I find these values inspiring, and I see them reflected here in the Mon Sheong philosophy as well. So as the Queen's representative in Ontario, I applaud the Mon Sheong Foundation for doing so much to ensure the well-being of Chinese Canadians who are elderly or disabled. Next year will be Mon Sheong's 50th anniversary, so I wish you every success in carrying this good work forward, and I thank you for your hospitality of inviting me here today.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm just going to give a summary of the speech in Canada.
Consists of 311 Mon Sheong Court Senior.
Our province face an aging problem.
Yes.
So what's Ontario's government's policy, and what's the resources put into the senior care?
Well, as Lieutenant Governor, I have no role to play in terms of policy, and my position is apolitical. But as I mentioned in my remarks, my family has been involved in terms of elder care for many decades. When I was a very young man, just even a teenager, I remember my parents meeting around the living room table with, dining room table I should say, with other people, creating this foundation that ended up making an elder care facility in Scarborough. And so it's something that I've been aware of since being a very young man, some more than 40 years ago. So it's inspiring to me to see that other people at a similar time, 40 years ago, were coming up with similar ideas and have been able to continue to expand them. Because I think ultimately Mon Sheong shows a model that we need to look at very, very seriously as something that can be replicated as far as possible to help come to grips with the problem of providing quality care for our aging population.
Thank you.
Thank you.
喺度。